Welcome everyone to Group 2, Round 2 of the Crown E-League Championship. We're here in Russia. It's just me, Branch, today on the comms. As Webba mentioned last week, he will not be able to commentate today because of a work issue, so it'll be just me here in the commentary box. We're headed to what I consider to be one of the more difficult tracks on the game. This track requires a lot of precision, lots of orange sausage curbs that sit on the inside and on the exit of many of the corners here. You have to avoid them if you want to have a fast lap, and they're real close to the circuit, which means it's a lot more difficult to avoid them. So here we are. Looks like slightly cloudy skies, and probably going to be a dry session though. As always, anyone in the chat, let me know if there are any weather updates that I need to know about for this session or for the race, either one. We just wait to get underway. So, just a quick update on the team standings for this group. We have Team IRT, who will be in the blue livery. They are number 1, 95 points with a great finish last week. Number 2 will be NRX with 80 points. That'll be the purple team that you can see. Number 3 will be Evora Gaming, very far back from the front two, with 44 points. I don't know if I mentioned NRX with 80 points. Evora with 44 points, and that will be the gold color car. Following up them in 4th place will be GS Gaming with 31 points, and that will be the black colored car, or black and white I believe is what the livery is. I'm not 100% certain. And then last place is Esports Wales with 25 points, and they will be in the orange cars. We have a car already out on track. It seems, and it looks like this will be the brand new GS Gaming livery. So I like the look of this livery a lot. It's a nice looking livery, I will say. Let me get this track map loaded. We'll have lap data enabled. And there we go. So, just following these drivers as they head for their out laps. We'll follow Nexium around for his first lap, get a track guide going so you guys can understand the physics of this track. Excuse me. Thomas in the chat with the Let's Go NRX. Team IRT from Steve, excuse me. I'm very bad with names. My apologies. Also, apologies, my voice may sound a little nasally or sniffly. I have been sick the last couple of days, so I'm nursing that, so apologies if my voice doesn't sound the best right now. So Nexium's still going around. There is someone in front of him. Can't see who that. It looks like Jonah, NRX Jonah. Did not race in the first race in Bahrain. Have a few new drivers, obviously. Lots of teams with different drivers for this one. So we'll follow Jonah around for his first lap. Coming out of this last corner. A few 90-degree corners. Oh, got a little bit loose there on the exit curb there. DRS is right here, going through turn 1. Technically, it's more of a kink than anything else. Down into the heavy and, what I should say, controversial turn 2 and turn 3. This has caused a lot of problems in real life. And then turn 3. This long right-hander. You almost pretty much flat out going through here as we head into turn 4. Tough turn right there. You got to get slowed down real quickly while also turning at the same time. A quick straight before another 90-degree right-hander for turn 5. Little kink. Head out wide for this right-hander. Turn 6. And turn 7 a left-hander. Just back and forth. This track is so demanding on the tires with all these medium-speed corners. Now we head to the back straight. DRS open, clutch the wall as close as you possibly can, eke as much time out of this lap as you possibly can. Stay a little bit wide, close on entry into the corner. Stay right here so you can get the left-hander, hit that apex, throttle down, up until you get to here. This is the toughest section of the circuit right here, 2 off-camber corners. He looked pretty good through there though. Now he just has the last 2 90-degree corners to finish off the lap here in Russia. He gets the first one right. Down into third gear for this last one, and there he goes. 130.7 is the first lap we see on the board for NRX. Most likely not going to be the pole time, obviously, on medium tires. The Griff comes out with a 131.3, a lot slower than Jonah on better tires as well, so that doesn't bode well for him. Sieb just a tenth behind his teammate, but once again on the medium tires as opposed to the softs that Griff is on. So we will look around here, see if we can find anyone else on a lap. Nearing the end of their lap, maybe. There goes Snipes, setting at 135. We have a couple of NRX guys coming across the line now. There goes Dan in 5th for the time being. And someone else following up right behind him. Looked like it was Darag. I don't hope I said that correctly. The 4th NRX driver, also someone who we did not see in round 1 of this championship. So, no note up into 3rd place there for GS Gaming. Let's see if we can find anyone. Hutaru setting the 10th fastest time at the moment. Here's Lars. I don't know how to say the rest of his name, so we'll just call him Lars. Coming down the back straight now on soft tires. Obviously, starting on the mediums would be a little bit more beneficial for you, just to be able to go a little bit longer in this race. Not exactly sure how strategies work for this one. We're likely to see a few 2 stops, especially if there's a safety car like there was last week. Lars just heading through this final chicane before the last 2 corners. A little bit of traffic on the lap, but traffic stayed out of the way for the most part. Didn't really affect the lap that much. And there he goes, 10th fastest, just ahead of his teammate Hotaru. So Evora Gaming once again looking quite slow, as the top 8, out of the top 8, 7 of them are either NRX or IRT racers. There goes Hooky just behind his teammate Ivor for Esports Wales, also a team that needs to step it up a bit. As we mentioned, the way this championship works, 4 or 5 teams in 2 groups each. The top 2 teams will automatically move on to the finals after 4 rounds, and the best of the 2 third-place teams will be the 5th team in that final. This is the second of these 4 group qualifying, some may say, races. So at the end of this, we will be halfway through the group stage of this championship. Let's see if there's anyone on a lap right now. Nexium is just starting his lap. We'll see if there's anyone closer to the end. Antonio's about halfway through. No note's headed into the pits. Griff, I don't think, is on a lap. We'll check in with him. He's going pretty fast, so maybe. No, he's 2 seconds under his time. He, I think, already finished his lap. So, I think Antonio, yeah, he's coming down the backstretch now. We'll follow along with him for now. I really do like this this new livery for GS. They had a few different ones, I would say, last week. Not all of them looking all that appetizing. This 3rd sector here, I must say, is someone who doesn't like this track a lot. This section really grinds my gears. I'm never able to get that section perfectly. It's always just kind of throwing the car in there, hoping it sticks. Antonio coming through the last set of corners to set his first lap in this qualifying session, and he will jump up into 11th place, far away from his teammate Nono, who's currently in 3rd. We'll drop back to Nexium, who's also coming through this final set of corners here. The 3rd of 4 GS Gaming drivers. Oh, but he's going to head into the pits. Didn't like his lap. He will abort. So down here, maybe. It's like Colin Mason had a rough race last weekend. Help out Esports Wales a little bit, picking up some more points, and he's going to go 6th fastest, so the quickest Esports Wales driver so far. That's a pretty good lap so far for him. We'll head down to Gelato, I think the only person still on lap at this point, besides those who are on an out lap. Oh, he hits that inside sloshes curve. As I mentioned earlier, you're going to have to slow down if you want to not spin out once you hit those, so he had to do that. Maybe got a little bit of dirty air from Antonio. He's got a little bit of traffic going down this backstretch. Breaking down to this chicane section, into Sector 3. He looks fairly planted through here. A little bit better than his Sector 2, possibly. We had to slow up a little bit through that last corner. That's going to cost us time. And he's going to head into the pits as well. So not feeling the lap time. We will continue on, trying to find anyone who is about to start a lap. Looks like we have a few NRX drivers on their laps already. Jonah looks like he's on a lap, so we'll stick with him through this final sector. NRX second in the standings currently behind IRT, but they had a great race last weekend. Looking to continue that momentum. They only need to be in the top 2, so not necessarily gunning for the top spot, but they need to make sure that they're scoring a good haul of points to make sure Evora doesn't get any closer. As the standings have shown through this first race, it seems it's going to be a 2-horse race with NRX and Evora for the top spot. As here goes Jonah with a 130.1. We'll see if there's anyone. Oh, there's C crossing the line in 3rd place. Snipes not too far back. It's like Cam Rules up into 14th now, splitting the 2 Evora Gaming drivers. It was that Boomchi up into 5th place. So a great lap for him. I think Snipes is about to finish his lap, coming up to the final section of the racetrack. We have another NRX driver actually about to finish their lap. Looks like it's going to be Dan. He's going to go up into 7th place. Then we'll follow through with Snipes. Snipes finishing the lap. Didn't improve on his lap, unfortunately, it looked like. So, and Rezify's out. I don't know where that would have been. Was that on track? It looked like it might have been on track in the last sector. So he is out of this qualifying session. See if there's anyone about to cross the line. We'll watch Hotaru. He's a little bit down on his time. Might be able to make up some positions. He's slid going through that section right there. And there's Rezify, almost on the racing line there. If this was real life, that would have almost definitely been a red flag at this point. And he is going to dive into the pits. As we continue to search for drivers to watch. There is a Evora driver coming out of the last corner. Oh, he's going into the pits. So there's an NRX driver, I believe that is Dan or Snipes maybe, who I think was about to start their lap earlier. We'll see once he crosses the Sector 2 line. Who's getting the win this week? I'd have to see a little bit more of pace. But at the moment, it looks like NRX is the quicker team. As Snipes on mediums, I think he's given up on this lap at this point. He's going pretty slow through here. And he's going to move to the right, get out of the way of any drivers behind him. So we'll look for anyone who's on a lap at the moment. Griff could be on a lap. It says he's on 1 lap old tires. Keep looking. Lars about halfway through, and there is Nexium up into 2nd place. The GS Gaming driver splitting the 2 NRX drivers at the top. That's got to be big for his team. At the moment, are currently sitting in 4th place, 13 points behind team in 3rd place. And if we look at Group 1, the team in 3rd place there has 50 points, so they have even more points to make up if they would actually want to make the finals as the 3rd team in their division. A little bit of traffic ahead of Nexium here. Oh, I think he's already set his lap, so we can move past him. Maybe Antonio coming out of Turn 3 into Turn 4. And it's pouring in Group 1 quali, the exact opposite here in Group 2 quali, although it is getting pretty dark. Would not at all be surprised to see some raindrops falling pretty soon. We will look at Gelato, who is on a lap at the moment. He is yet to set a lap, just one of 3 drivers who have yet to set a lap. Pompeo being one of them, who had a great qualifying last week, but fell very, very far back in the race. Ended up not being able to score too many points. To reiterate, this championship does have points all the way down the grid. So everyone that finishes will receive a point. So it is vital not only to finish as high as you can, but to actually finish is possibly even more vital. So Gelato coming through the last corner. Last set of corners, I should say. And he will cross the line and go 5th fastest! Another driver who did not compete last week. A lot of those guys sitting up here at the top right now. And he is 5th place, the highest of the Evora Gaming drivers at the moment. So just 3.5 minutes left in this qualifying session. Here's Dara. Derek. Oh, he got a little bit squirrely there on the exit. Thought it might have been an invalidation, but it was not. And he will continue his lap for NRX, excuse me. Well, NRX Dan and Durag. Both looks like they're next to each other. Oh no, that's not Dan. I'm not sure which NRX driver that is. We'll take a look. That's Jonah. Leading him down the straight. Great teamwork right there. We saw it a lot in week 1, and we're seeing it again here. Drivers helping their teammates out. The Drivers' Championship not really a factor in this championship, so the Constructors is the main thing, and NRX proving again. Oh, he got squirrely there on the exit again. Almost lost it. We have a GS Gaming driver off in Sector 1. Here comes Durag through the last corner. What time will he set? And he does not. Oh, he goes 4th fastest. It took a second for the time to pop up, but he is 4th fastest, just behind his teammate. See if there's anyone else on a lap at the moment. Maybe some of these guys in Evora down here. Ivan, yet to set a lap. Here's Hotaru coming through the last set of corners. Will he set a lap? Or he looks like he will be setting a lap. And there's Jonah out right now. He's already 3/10 faster than the rest of the field, but he has a chance to go even faster as Hotaru puts himself up into 14th. Rezify, the IRT driver, really hurting that he's fallen out of qualifying already. He may have to start all the way at the back. And that would be huge for the championship if NRX could outscore IRT here. We'll move on. Get Ivan here going through the last sector. Oh, looks like... No, that's not Jonah. So Ivan going through the last sector here. Let's see if he can set a time. Him and Pompeo still the only drivers yet to set times. He goes a little bit wide on the exit. Only a 132.7, so still stays where he was. A minute left. He may be setting a lap here, but he's got to do it. He's got to make it a quick one. So we have just a minute left in this session. Any drivers who are in the pits are almost... it's impossible for them to get out at this point. Anyone on track at the moment setting a lap, if we see a driver off the track there, maybe just trying to get out of the way of someone. Round Jonah goes just a 10th faster, a 130.0, not quite cracking the 120s yet. We'll keep looking around. We have an NRX driver in Sector 3. We'll see if Dan is on a lap or not. I don't think he is, and he's not. There's an Evora driver in that 3rd sector as well. Looks like it was Hotaru. Lars looks like he spun in the last sector, avoiding another driver there, GS Gaming driver. We'll follow with Snipes as Lars gets a 5th place penalty for a collision with Cam. I'm not sure where that would have happened. It looks like it's right there, actually. We'll take a look at this. And they've collided in Sector 3. Lars is trying to get his car turned around as here is the end of qualifying. Snipes coming through the last corner. Can he go any faster? He will go 2nd fastest for the time being. We have a few other drivers coming through now. Griff crossing the line. He'll move up to 7th. Just one position. Boomchi not able to set another time. Unfortunate there at the end for Cam Rules. No Note looks like he's about to set a time. He will move up into 3rd fastest. His teammate Nexium is coming down the backstretch as we speak. Can Nexium take the pole away from Jonah? Here we go on board with him. Possibly the last driver on a lap, although Snipes may be... I think he might be the last driver on a lap, actually. Unless Dan behind him is also on one. Almost hitting the wall there, could have ended... Oh, he's invalidated! Nexium possibly could have taken the pole away from Jonah there, but he's invalidated through the last set of corners. We'll see if Dan has enough. He was quicker through his Sector 2, so he has enough maybe to at least move up a little bit for NRX. Through the last corner, he will move up into 9th place ahead of Boomchi. And NRX, seemingly the winners of this qualifying. Pompeo may be on a lap. He's coming through the last corner now. Can he do anything on his only lap? He's fastest! Unbelievable! He didn't set a lap all qualifying. He comes out at the very death of it and sets the fastest time. I thought NRX might have won this qualifying, but it looks like GS Gaming has come out with a huge slap on the wrist there. First, fourth, and fifth for GS Gaming. Second, third, and sixth for NRX. This is going to be an interesting one at the start here. And IRT, Group 2 leaders. Their number one guy, Seeb, in 7th at the moment. Griffin 9th, Boomchi in 11th, and Rezify all the way down in 16th. IRT has a lot of moves to make if they want to hang on to their lead. And GS Gaming hoping that they can maybe put themselves in the top 2 with a good finish here today. Unbelievable qualifying session there. I thought NRX had in the bag. Pompeo with an unbelievable only lap of the session. 2/10 faster than the man in second place. And that'll be your pole sitter, Pompeo, for the second week in a row he's done this. NRX Jonah, NRX Snipes rounding out the podium, No Note, and Nexium top 5. Durag, the NRX driver, in 6th. Seeb in 7th. Gelato, the top Evora Gaming driver. 9th is Griff. 10th is Dan. Boomchi in 11th. Colin Mason, the top Esports Wales driver. Antonio down in 13th, followed by Ivor, Hotaru, Rezify, who missed out by crashing out early on in the qualifying. Hookie in 17th. Lars in 18th. Camrils in 19th. And Ivan in 20th. Once again, Esports Wales and Evora Gaming really struggling down there at the bottom. Gelato the only one of either of those teams that are in the top 10 to start this race. So here, clear skies it looks like. So unless we see a storm roll in at some point, it'll likely be a dry session here for round 2 of the Group 2 Crown E-League Championship. Once again, every driver that finishes scores points, so if you're a driver listening to this, please finish the race. Even if you think your race might be over, safety cars can help you out. And you will still finish with points. If you DNF, however, that'll make it a lot harder for you to score the points you want. So just waiting for the drivers to get their strategies ready to go. Clock has ticked down. Do we have a formation lap? We do have a formation lap, it seems. So Pompeo starting on pole. He's got 2 of his teammates, or 2 NRX drivers, followed by 2 of his teammates. So it'll be interesting here going down into turn 1. Obviously, the slipstream is major in the first, going into turn 1 for the first time. We may see some wrecks. This is a very, very volatile section of racetrack, especially when there are as many cars as there are in an F1 race close to each other at the beginning. Will the leaders be able to make it through, is the question. I guess the question is, who has the race pace? You know, Pompeo, he looked very quick in qualifying last week, but ended up butchering the race and not able to score too many points. He's hoping that this time he can redeem himself and get GS Gaming a much needed victory. We'll run NRX. Obviously in prime position now at this point to take the lead in the championship with IRT so far down. but they're gonna have to hold him off. You know, Dan down there has 2 IRT drivers ahead of him. They're probably gonna try and make his life difficult, but Durag, just ahead of Sieb, the lead IRT driver, he has a job of holding him back as long as possible, so that NRX can overtake them in the championship, make it a little bit easier for them to get into this qualifying, or the finals, excuse me. Heading into Sector 3 of this formation lap. Intensity building, as some would say. Jonah and Snipes, both drivers who did not race last week. So, this is their first race with the Crown E-League. Have a lot of drivers in the same boat. No Note, Durag, Gelato, Antonio, Rezify, I think, might have raced last week. Hooky did not, though. So, just about 7 or 8 new drivers, at least for now, as drivers will head onto the grid. Find their grid slots. Left and right. The left side being the more preferred side, as it is the less dirty side of the racetrack. And Lars, the final driver, slides into his grid position. See if I can find you a good camera angle here. Not exactly. Oh, there we go. The lights beeping twice. 5 lights, and we're on our way down into turn 1. Looks like Jonah might have gotten a pretty good start. Oh, Snipes got a really good start, actually. Jonah got a bad start. Snipes is going to be side by side with Pompeo going into turn 1. Jonah may be catching up to them a little bit. Possibly 3 wide. Jonah's going to hang around. Snipes with the lead. He has to take the runoff. He will hold the, or he will back off into second place for now, but he has the inside line, which means he may overtake Pompeo here. We're going to go on board. They're right next to each other going into turn 4. Pompeo with the position. Contact made, and he will hang on to it for the time being. Jonah trying to make a move now. No, behind him also trying to make a move. They're still side by side. And Jonah and Snipes now, as Snipes was pushed out wide a little bit by Pompeo. Snipes will hang on to second place for the time being. Farther down the field, we see a lot of movement. Dan has fallen very far back. Looks like he may have had an issue on the start, and Pompeo starting to pull away from the field a little bit. And we can breathe just a little bit, as that was a very hectic start going on right there. A little bit of squeezing, but I think it was fair racing going on there at the front. Snipes and Jonah swap positions. We'll see if they change around again or not. Jonah not quite trying to make a move on his teammate yet. Oh, spin at the front, and Pompeo's done it again! He did it last week, and he's done it this week. He spun out section of race. I can't believe it. He's still going somehow in 7th place. I'm not sure how he's done that. He was fully sideways. Either way, he is down in 7th place now, and NRX Snipes leads us after 1 lap. Unbelievable going on right now. Pompeo did that all on his own, just a little bit too aggressive on his cold tires, heavy car with the fuel. Down the field a little bit, Griff just 3/10 behind his man, going through this infamous turn 3 almost. Gelato back there taking a wide line, trying to get around his man. Oh, those Hikaru, as Dan and Camels are in the pits, both likely suffering damage early on here. Nexium not too far back from Jonah. No Note has actually gotten past Jonah. I didn't see that earlier, but No Note there, as we will take a look at position changes. Highest mover being Colin Mason. Pompeo down the field. I'm not sure what happened there. Looks like he must have spun again. Yeah, he's off track and unbelievable in 15th place after starting on pole. I said he needed to redeem himself, and he has done the exact opposite thus far. Snipes pulling away from No Note now. This is Jonah trying to hang on to his position. Oh, a switchback move. That was beautifully done by Nexium. And Nexium is up into 3rd place now as Jonah's falling down the field, seemingly losing his pace right there. That was not a traditional place to make an overtake. Through a section of racetrack that is generally too tight to make a move like that, he got it done, and Nexium Just like that, GS Gaming up into second and third place. Sieve also getting past Dara. He is now in 5th place, as still the highest IRT driver. Lots of DRS going on in turn 1. These guys are all close to each other. Great racing still going on here from 2nd through 6th place. We'll keep an eye on this for the time being. This seems to be the most active part of the track at the moment. Sieve with inside of a sandwich. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Jonah maybe try and back him up. Let Dara get close so that they can have 2 drivers next to each other on track. We'll follow on board here. Oh, I guess we can take a look at tires. That is a good idea. As the top 8 are all on softs. Boomshi the highest medium runner. We have a couple guys already going on to hard tires. Those guys who must have got damaged or something like that. Jonah and No-Note getting very close to each other here. Jonah trying to make a move, and he's got the move done. Possibly could make a move on Nexium. He's got a lot of overspeed on him. Nexium trying to make a decision in the braking zone. Jonah will just hang back there. He made one move, not quite another. Back behind them, Dara trying to make a move on Sieve. Oh, they've spun! They made contact and spun. Sieve is all the way around. Dara keeps going. Unfortunate turn of events there. Dara tried to hang it in there, and it looked like that may have been a mistake on his part more than anything else. Just got a little bit too close there. And now we have NRX GS splitting the top 5. Excuse me, followed by Gelato in 6th place. And a flag in Sector 2, we'll see where that is. That looks like it is Pompeo again. He cannot stop spinning. Hotaru now up into 9th place. He's trying to make a move on Colin Mason. They will go side by side. Colin Mason outbraking himself just a little bit, but hang on to the position. Great job right there in the braking zone, but he is going to be under pressure here from Hotaru as we have a flag in Sector 1. I'm not sure where that's from. Yeah, I can't seem to figure out who that's from. But oh, it looks like Jonah is up into 2nd place. I didn't see that up here, so Nexium getting passed, seemingly. As Gelato also passed Dara. Dara now falling down into 7th place. Boomshi gets past him. Back behind them, Hotaru and Rezify are side by side. Getting very close. Dara now losing spots out to Colin Mason. He must have damage or something. He's losing a lot of places here. Pompeo is completely out of the race now. Flag in Sector 1, and that must have been Pompeo. I don't know if we're going to get a safety car from that or not. We haven't seen anything yet. At this point, we may be starting to see the soft tires falling off a little bit as we see a lot of medium tire runners making moves here as Rezify and Hotaru is still side by side with each other. It's getting very close, and Rezify is going to smartly back out of that. Oh, and he tried to get going out of the last that corner, and he completely spun around. Dara looks like he does have damage. He's going to head into the pits. Hotaru almost lost it on the exit of that corner there. My goodness, this is an action-packed beginning of this Russian Grand Prix. NRX 1 and 2, GS Gaming 3 and 4, IRT still struggling to get themselves back. Sieve down into 13th after the spin he had earlier with Dara. See if he's able to recover after that. Boomshi now the highest running IRT driver. He is also the highest running medium tire runner, so in a very good position for himself. Not too far back from the leaders. He will be in first place when these leaders pit, as Nexium getting oversteer and No-Note getting understeer right there on my screen. And look at these NRX leaders. They have now broken the DRS train from Nexium. So hopefully we'll try and pull away a little bit and get a gap before the pit stops start to come into play here. Up and down the field, Antonio, we'll take a look at him. He's gaining on Sieve now on medium tires, which seem at this point to be the better tire compared to the softs. The softs have really started to deteriorate for most of these drivers. It looks like Nexium has gotten passed by No-Note up there. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. Looks like No-Note maybe just the quicker driver, Nexium letting him pass to not hold up a team member there. Antonio still getting closer and closer to Sieve here. Oh, but he outbrakes himself, and he's going to lose a lot of time from that. Almost already, yeah, he's fallen already a second away from the driver ahead. So we will once again go back to the front, where we have NRX next to each other, followed pretty far behind at this point by GS next to each other. An interesting dynamic going on here as these drivers are not trying to run into their teammates, and they're also trying to help each other out with DRS. NRX very much the faster team at this point, as they gained just about a second and a half through that last lap, and they've already gained about 3/10 through this part of the lap here. See them off in the distance. Oh, we have a flag in Sector 1. Is that Lars? It is Lars. He's gone spearing off, coming out of Turn 2 into Turn 3. I'm not sure what would have caused that. But still, team orders keeping these drivers from battling up at the front here. You don't want to battle too much, especially at this point in the race, because with it being the team game that it is, you can't be battling, slowing your teammates down. Although it looks like Nexia may get past Nono here. I think they're just kind of letting each other go down this backstretch. They did it last lap. They're going to do it again this lap. So good teammate going right there. Although they are, looks like they may be losing time by doing that, as they're now 3.2 seconds down, earlier just being 2.7 down. So haven't seen very many drivers dive into the pits yet, besides the ones that dealt with damage. So not exactly sure how long these soft tires will last, but it can't be much longer, as they're already starting to look like they are fading a little bit. Boomshi still racing really well down in 6th place, trying to catch up to JT Gelato, the top Evora driver, as it looks like Jonah and Snipes are going side by side to turn 1, and Jonah will take the lead for the time being. These teammates just trying to be very civil with each other, not battle too much, and it's working out in their favor. And I think at this point you gotta think NRX is in a pretty good spot, but with Dara and Dan so far down, those guys are gonna have to make some comeback drives if they want to get any closer to IRT, who have a lot of middle of the table points, may end up adding up to more, although Jonah and Snipes up 1 and 2 is going to get them a big haul of points to begin with. Down there we see Griff getting passed by Dara, going into turn 1. Durag, I'm not sure. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. We'll have to ask him about his name after the race. This battle seems pretty hectic. We'll hang with it for the time being. Oh, Boomchi past Gelato now, coming off the backstretch. So Boomchi now still making moves. He looks like possibly the fastest driver on the circuit at the moment with how quick he's going on these medium tires. They're really coming into their own at the moment. 7 laps into this race. Yeah, he's gaining quickly on the GS drivers in front of him. At the moment, I gotta say, he is probably on the best strategy of anyone. Sector 3 flag, I'm not sure who that would be. It looks like it is Hotaru. Stopped on the exit of that corner. Rezify gets past him, and Hotaru will dive into the pits. I'm not sure if he has damage or not, but either way, he's getting off those tires. We will stick with Boomchi, as he's been a very quick driver on these medium tires. See if he can get caught up to the drivers at the front. So Hotaru, not sure if he got damage there. Either way, he now pits onto medium tires, so likely not going to the end of the race. I would assume. I'm not sure if the mediums can last that long. And he will fall down into 16th place through that pit stop. Camrose coming down the front stretch now, may be able to get past him. Not quite though, looking from the mini-map. So Boomshi now just 2.5 seconds behind Nono, absolutely gaining time on him, as Nono has fallen out of DRS with his teammate, so that is definitely going to make him even slower than he already was when he had that DRS. The NRX drivers helping themselves out by keeping that DRS, so they are pulling away from GS ever so slightly at this point. I feel not too many battles going on at the moment. Very strategic race. We haven't seen the first set of pit stops from the drivers that didn't wreck early on in the race. I think that will probably spread this, or get some stuff going here. As there's our first penalty, Colin R. Mason picking it up, the Esports Wales driver. Esports Wales looking pretty strong. The opposite of what they looked in week 1, as they were the lowest scoring team of anyone, but with a finish like this, they could maybe try and catch Evora or GS Gaming, who is in 4th place. So those two teams who struggled in the first round looking a lot stronger here in this one. Boomchi now just 2 seconds behind No Note. And every second or so, looking just a little bit faster on those mediums. It seems to have been the way to go to start on those medium tires. He is already up in 5th place. We'll take a look at position changes. He's up 6 positions already. Some of it possibly with tire advantage or disadvantage, but either way, it's either way. Yeah. Boomchi now getting just very, very close at the moment. He may have DRS going down this final straight if he's able to be quick enough through the 3rd sector here. Just a second now behind No Note. You can see him ahead. He's got Gelato behind. Gelato not too far back. Possibly could make a move down this front stretch. It doesn't look like Boomchi's going to get the DRS, but Gelato will. Nexium into the pit, so he's going to be the first of the front runners on softs to pit. And that's not going to help No Note at all. Boomchi now just 7/10, and he will get the DRS actually, so he will have a run possibly on No Note. Doesn't look like he'll quite get close enough, but he will at least show himself in the mirrors. And at this point, No Note will have it in his mind. He's probably going to want to pit at the end of this lap. This is the battle we will keep our eyes on for the time being. As Boomchi at this point seems like the fastest driver on the racetrack. And he's got a driver in front of him who he wants to get around. Still just weaving around a little bit, trying to give No Note. Oh, and No Note goes wide! And that's definitely going to give Boomchi an opportunity here. We're going to go on board here. No Note hitting the... And he just picked up a penalty. He's really struggling on these soft tires now. And Boomchi really looking like he wants to get around him. Snipes and Jonah. Looks like Snipes is going to get past Jonah on this back straight. I think this will be an easy pass for Boomchi. Gelato also behind them. Doesn't look like he is going to make much of a run here. And Boomchi ahead of No Note going into the corner at the end of that back stretch. We will head into Sector 3 with Boomchi ahead. Now not facing the dreaded dirty air. It doesn't look like NRX pitted. Both drivers... Oh no, they did both pit actually. And Jonah received a 5-second penalty in the pit lane. No Note's now going to enter, and Boomchi heads into the lead. Unbelievable scenes here, as Jonah now with a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane didn't slow down enough. And that could change the complexion of this race completely. Now we have a battle for the net lead, or not the net lead, but the on-track lead, not necessarily the lead of the race. And we will pay attention to Nexium, who's looking to make a move on Seeb, who is yet to pit. One of the last soft tire runners still out there, along with Gelato. They're side by side going into turn 1. And Nexium with a beautiful move there, just barely kept it on the track, but got it done nonetheless. Great job by him. NRX Dan way down in 19th, picking up a penalty. We'll look around the track a little bit more, see if we find any battles. Because Dan is pretty close. Oh, wow, that was close. They're catching up to the other esports Welsh driver. Dan is going to get around him, being Cam Rules. They're on similar sets of tires, and Cam Rules still using the slipstream, trying to get around him, going into turn 4. He will go over the curb and will get a penalty for that, so that's not going to help him. We're starting to see a lot of penalties pop up here. So the NRX drivers, looks like they got the cut on Nexium, but Nexium did gain a little bit of time. He was about 4 seconds back when he pit. Now he's only 2 seconds back, but the NRX drivers do have 1 lap fresher tires than he does to work with. There goes Gelato into the pits. Looks like Seeb has not quite yet chosen whether he's going to pit or not, but Gelato into the pits, so I wouldn't be at all surprised to see if Seeb pits here. And he will not go into the pit, so he's going to stay out at least 1 more lap on those softs. Look down the field. These NRX drivers are still very much next to each other, helping themselves out. And Nexium, as I mentioned, was 2 seconds back earlier. He's already starting to fall back from the NRX guys, so it looks like they just have a general pace advantage over the guys around them. We'll have to see if they can get around the IRT driver of Resify, who has yet to pit yet. Would not at all be surprised to see Resify try and battle a little bit, give Boomchi some time to gain some time on those guys who are chasing him down. Gap to leader, please. That is a good idea. A Hooky 10 seconds behind the leader now. So at this point, Boomchi would probably end up around 7th or 8th, I'd think. Depending on how long those medium tires go, will let us know if this is going to be a one-stop or a two-stop race. Excuse me. Ooh. So, Dara getting past Ivan down there in 12th place. NRX driver making contact early, trying to make up for happened earlier on in the race. Is Jonas, that's the fastest lap of the race. He does have a 3-second penalty. They're getting past Resify, and Resify not even putting up a fight there. Will get passed by both NRX drivers going down the straight. So, not exactly fighting like a lion, as Fernando Alonso says. Hooky getting a penalty ahead of Snipes. They're just half a second behind him at this point. And these guys look extremely quick next to each other, and I think NRX at this point has this one in the bag. They just look really, these guys look really quick at the moment. Looks like they've been practicing this. And Hooky, just no pace compared to Snipes. Snipes definitely getting held up at this point. We'll see what happens here, because this is not, there's not really many places to pass at this point in the circuit. They may have to wait for the backstretch. This Hooky's really holding up Snipes now. Will he go for something? Resify getting a penalty behind this battle. And with the DRS, I think we'll see both NRX drivers get past Hooky here. And they are doing work getting through this field. That was great driving by both of those drivers to quickly get past Resify and Hooky in the space of half a lap, really. And just like that, they can now chase down Boomchi, who still needs to pit, by the way. At this point, these NRX drivers look like they have a clear 1-2 set and ready to go. I'm hoping that at the end of the race we may see them battling each other to see who can get the win. Make it a little bit more interesting. Look at the penalty situation real quick. Jonah with 5 seconds of penalties for speeding in the pit lane. Hooky and Resify both have 3-second penalties, which means this is an on-track battle as they will go side by side to turn 1. Resify braking just a little bit later, and he will get a good run, but Hooky got an even better run. They will go side by side going through turn 3. But Hooky obviously with the worst line, the outside line, being that he will not be able to keep up with Resify. So a good move by him to get IRT up even closer there to scoring as many points as they possibly can. So Jonah looks like he's got past Snipes. And he does have that 5-second penalty, so maybe they're thinking they need to protect him a little bit, get him in front, so that he can be the one setting the pace. Cam Rules farther down, getting another 3-second penalty, the first driver of the night to have multiple 3-second penalties. I'll go back to looking at the tires for the time being. That seems to be the most important part of this race at the moment. Who is on what tires? Nexium and Hooky battling. Oh my goodness, what a switchback that was by Nexium. And he's going for the move on Resify as well, side by side. Gets tapped, and that is close. That is probably an issue with Nexium there, as he turned Resify. Although Resify did kind of turn into him, but either way, Resify was ahead. So that probably should have been something Nexium backed out of. Either way, Nexium moves ahead, past Hooky and Resify. Resify will stay out and not go into the pits after that spin. So at the moment with the gap, even with Jonah's 5-second penalty, Nexium would not be able to get ahead of him. So I think that at this point would be Nexium's goal, is to try and stay within that 5-second gap of Jonah, as these guys are making headway on Boomchi. And the way this race is looking with how long these guys in the mediums are lasting, I think it's got to be a 2-stop here, soft to medium. would not at all surprise me. Down a little bit, Gelato trying to get past Resify. Gelato on fresh mediums, Resify still on the tires he started the race on. Once again, being in a section of the circuit where dirty air is a premium, makes it a lot harder to keep up with the man in front of you. And here goes Gelato down the backstretch, and he will easily get past Resify in front before the braking zone, no less. And that is an overtake made by JT Gelato, the highest Evora Gaming driver currently. Excuse me for the honking that was outside. I'm not sure if that was picked up on the mic or not. So Snipes looks like he's going to get past Jonah again as they swap positions yet again. It's been intelligent driving by these two at the front, not getting in each other's way. If one looks faster down the straight, they simply let each other by to avoid any battling whatsoever. It seems to be working. Hooky now, as well as Resify, onto soft tires, so they're going for an aggressive strategy, trying to be very quick at the end of this race here. And NRX Dara up into 10th now. So at this point, NRX will probably score more points than IRT. Looks like just about every NRX driver is beating the corresponding IRT driver, aside from Boomchi, although Boomchi will be pitting pretty soon, and will go behind those two NRX drivers at the front. And at this point, GS Gaming might actually be the highest scoring team, with 4th, 6th, and 8th. Obviously provisionally, as we still have just about 12 laps left in this race. We'll take a look at Hooky coming out on his fresh soft tires compared to the old worn tires that Griff and Dara have, being the hards. So Hooky looking to get past these guys quickly using his tire advantage. He goes down the back stretch, will likely have at least some kind of straight line difference. The slipstream is huge here in Russia, and he's going to get past Griff quite easily there. Up into 11th for Hooky. Got a much better pig exit than Resify, who's down into 16th on his soft tires. Boomchi into the pits. Boomchi is into the pits now. Onto soft tires to the end of the race, so he could be pretty quick compared to the guys around him. I wouldn't at all be surprised to see him making some moves here at the end. Is Ivan also into the pits on old mediums? Down there, near the back of the field. We'll keep our eyes on Resify, who's currently in a battle with Ivor Bryn Mike. He will get ahead of him in the braking zone now. NRX Dan, who is someone that is, I mean, obviously this is the rivalry going on in Group 2, NRX versus IRT, so a pass here would be crucial for the championship. Every point needed, obviously. Definitely want to finish ahead of any of the opposing, of your rival team's drivers as possible. He definitely looks faster than him at the moment on his fresh soft tires. And Sieb all the way down in 17th after his spin. It's an unfortunate situation for him. He had such a good race last week. DRS for Resify, and he is going to get past Dan here very easily, way ahead of the braking zone. And Resify up into 13th place now. 2.5 seconds behind his teammate Griff. Through the field. The gaps are starting to really form here. Not too many drivers within DRS range at the moment. See Antonio heading into the pits on his 17 lap old mediums. Soft to the end is the likely decision for him. Hooky's still looking pretty quick on these soft tires. Trying to catch the hard tire runner of Dara. Durag, I think is how I would say it. I've been saying it wrong for a second. Just a second behind him now. Boomchi in the same sort of situation. We have a flag in Sector 2. That looks like it's Durag. He's spun on his hard tires, and he's going to get passed by 2 IRT drivers, and that is really bad news for the NRX team. That is really bad news for them. Rezify trying to get past his teammate. They will go side by side, or maybe it looks like Griff is going to give him the position. Not trying to battle him too much, and Durag trying to once again get past Griff as he did earlier. And that is an unfortunate turn of events. There's Boomchi trying to catch up to No Note. Boomchi obviously with the tire advantage, at least for the time being until those softs wear off. He is wanting to catch up to No Note. He's going to have to get in the slipstream instead of the dirty air. That corner is just very hard to keep with someone. But he definitely looks like he has the pace over No Note. At the moment it looks like down the field Durag gets past Griff as Sieb gets past Ivor. We've got a grouping of IRT and NRX drivers there, 10th through 13th, as Dan gets passed by Ivor as well. Flag in Sector 1, looking to see who it was, and that's another NRX driver. This time it's Dan. So Dan and Durag both having issues now. They've both had spins in the last few laps. Boomchi now getting past No Note. The lead IRT driver trying to salvage this race for his team, at least try and take away as many points as possible from the rest of the field. He's now just 2.5 seconds behind JT Gelato. He's got a lot of time to make up if he wants to catch up to the NRX guys, but well, he's not going for that. I think maybe a podium may be in order for him if he's able to be quick enough. So, not too many battles going on at the moment. The closest gap being this gap at the front with Snipes and Jonah. But obviously, this gap not meaning much as neither of these guys are going to be battling each other. Flag in Sector 3, it's an orange car. And we're looking at Ivor getting spun in that last sector, falling back from the IRT drivers ahead of him. That's going to help out Dan, who spun on the last lap. Although Dan's going to head into the pits, possibly dealing with some damage, or just old medium tires it looks like. He wasn't going to get the end on those anyways. So, Boomchi's still trying to use up as much of these soft tires as he possibly can. The end of this race. IRT desperate for points with so many of their drivers sitting down 10th, 12th, and 13th as the rest of them. NRX with a 1-2, and it's going to be a pretty good point haul for them. Likely at the end of this race we will see NRX holding the top spot in the championship, unless the discrepancy between Sieb and Dan is so great that it doesn't matter. But either way, NRX with a win and a second place, it's going to be tough. As Jonah looks like he's going to get past Snipes here, going down the front stretch. Still playing the team game, not slowing each other down too much, just making sure that they both finish in first and second. Cam Rules picking up yet another penalty there at the back. He is really struggling. You see a lot of soft tire runners there at the back of the field. If there was a safety car right now, that would put them in a great position. We haven't seen a safety car yet. We've seen a few yellow flags. Only one retirement being Pompeo, who was a pole sitter, retiring after just 2 laps. Oh, and looks like Snipes is falling out of the DRS range of Jonah just a little bit. Will that mean anything? Because if he falls out of it, then Nexium could maybe start to catch him, but it looks like Jonah may have slowed down a little bit to make sure Snipes didn't get too far back. Durag picking up a penalty there. That's going to really hurt him. We'll take a look at the penalty situation now. As Jonah's still with that 5 seconds, a lot of 3-second penalties there in the middle of the field. Cam with 9 down there at the bottom. with Jonah picking up the fastest lap of the race. And it looks like we'll see if Snipes has the DRS or not. And he does not have the DRS. Interestingly enough. So we'll see if Nexium is able to catch up to these guys in front of him. However, at the moment, it doesn't look like it's all that likely. Boomchi not quite getting close enough for the DRS, so he will have to deal without it for now. But he is definitely catching JT Gelato. Flag in Sector 3, who would that be? Looks like Durag, who already got a penalty, and he is falling even farther back, this time behind the IRT drivers, and that's really going to hurt their championship if they're not able to stay ahead of these guys. Those old hard tires really starting to wear down. Boomchi just a second behind Gelato, struggling in this dirty air now. He still has a major tire advantage. He's looking to use it as much as possible. So he will have the DRS. You heard the DRS beep right there. I don't think he's going to be able to catch Gelato. He's a little bit too far back at this point. But it will get him close enough to possibly catch him down the main straight. So he's definitely a lot closer than he has been the last few laps. And she just following now, trying to make sure he stays within that second to have the DRS going down the main straight. Looks like Snipes is going to take the position from Jonah yet again going down that back straight. Antonio picks up a penalty. Down in 15th. That's not going to affect him much as Ivan is pretty far back from where he is. Boomchi with a big run, but doesn't look like he'll be able to catch a lot. Dan picking up a penalty. Once again, not going to hurt him too much as the man behind him is very far back. Ooh, excuse me. Boomchi really pushing here, trying to make sure he stays with Gelato. He wants, as if he didn't already need one. Colin Mason also getting another one, so penalties really starting to come into play here. Boomchi looks like he may have a run. And he's going to be going side by side with Gelato going into this turn. Gelato going a little bit wide. Boomchi not able to quite get the position. Gelato going wide on this corner. Boomchi tried to switch back, but Gelato defended it well. And Boomchi will have to wait yet another straight. He's right on the back of him now. And Gelato with some great defending here. This has been fantastic racing coming down to the wire here. They're on similar tires at this point. Fairly worn softs, fairly worn mediums. Boomchi looking to have a run down this front stretch. I think he might have just enough. Gelato has a little bit more ERS. He's not using it yet. Boomchi's not using his either. We'll see if they're able to... Gelato's able to defend. They're going to go side by side again. Boomchi into the braking zone, and he will be ahead. Gelato looking for the switchback. Not quite enough, and he did not get the traction. Boomchi will take 4th place for the time being. He had to lift off a little bit there, though, so Gelato's catching back up ever so slightly. Hanging on to Boomchi as much as possible. Even gaining a little bit down this straight. So he obviously still has some pace available to him. We'll hang on with this battle for the time being, as it seems like it's the closest one on track. Just follow the leader through this section of track. Make sure you stay within the DRS, and Gelato is really staying close behind Boomchi. I expected him to fall back a little bit, and he's got the DRS now with a run. Flag in Sector 3. It looks like it's an orange car. Esports Wales. Gelato not yet able to make the move. He will wait for now. Boomchi gaining a little bit there. And Cam Rules is out of the race completely into the wall. Had that happened earlier, that may have been a safety car, but it will not be a safety car now. So Gelato, I think he might be able to make a run here going down on Boomchi in the second to last lap of the race, the penultimate lap. Say, Jonah's out of the race! I didn't see what happened, but Jonah's retired! The man in 2nd place! And he's binned it going into turn 3, unbelievable! I didn't see what happened. The teammates must have been next to each other. I saw they swapped positions. I can't believe it! The second to last lap and Jonah's out! And just like that, NRX's 1-2 is completely gone! And just like that, Boomchi inherits third place and the podium. Unbelievable! I didn't get to see it on camera, unfortunately. It looked like he binned it coming out of the first two the chicane, turn 1 and 2. Oh my goodness. And just like that, it looks like IRT may be the higher scoring team possibly. If not very close. I think the 1-2 would have put NRX ahead, but not anymore. Gelato's still trying to make a run on Boomchi now with a lap and a half to go. This is for a podium spot at this point. Neither of them have penalties, so it's an on-track battle for this position. I think I'm gonna have to check out Discord chat, see maybe if we got any talking going on in there. Gelato hanging pretty close to Boomchi here. And one of his last chances is going to be right here. He's using his ERS. Boomchi doesn't have any. Gelato's going to get right past Boomchi down the straight. Looks like he'll be ahead even before the braking zone, and Boomchi will just have to slot in and hope that he can catch him going down the backstretch. So Gelato now inheriting the podium. Boomchi, for a second there, looked like he had a podium locked in, but Gelato stayed with him for a while. Maybe the medium tires are starting to catch, or the soft tires are starting to catch up to Boomchi a little bit. As we head onto the backstretch, will Boomchi have enough left in the tank? Will Gelato have enough left in the tank? This is most likely the last overtaking opportunity. Boomchi doesn't look like he's going to be close enough. Gelato's light is flashing at the back. Boomchi not able to make the move, and he will... Oh, but Gelato gets a little bit squirrely. Can Boomchi make the move here? They're really close to each other. Boomchi really getting close now, wanting this position as much as he possibly can. Snipes with the win. Nexium's going to come in second place. I wasn't even paying attention because I was watching this battle back here, and it looks like Gelato has hung on to take third place and the podium away from IRT Boomchi. But my goodness, what an end to this race. This was his Jonah, with just a lap and about 3/4 of a lap to go. Binned it, and an unbelievable finish to that race. Wow. Going down the field a little bit, IRT Resify in 7th, IRT Sieve in 8th. A solid finish for them, especially when you consider where NRX finished aside from Snipes. Hotaru in 9th, he had a great race at the end there. A flag in sector 2 and 3, looks like Ivan may have spun. And 2 Evora Gaming drivers finishing as the last finishers. And Ivan is going to slow down, I assume, to let his teammate by. I think Ivan had penalties, so I don't think he needed to necessarily do that, but either way, Lars will finish in 16th, Ivan will finish in 17th, and that is round 2, Group 2, done, halfway through the group stage of this Crown E-League Championship. I can't believe that. I can't believe that finished their Resify with the driver of the day. An unbelievable finish there. Wow. And Eric Snipes finishing on the top spot on the podium. Well deserved, I should say. Him and Jonah for 26.5 laps were dominating this race up until the point where Jonah lost it. So that has been us from Group 2 of the Crown E-League. Thank you for watching. If you stuck with us for the entire race, we appreciate it. And as always, it has been a It's been a good one.